The Daily Beast released exclusive reporting yesterday claiming that Republican Senate candidate for Georgia and former football star Herschel Walker, who is vehemently pro-life on the campaign trail, paid for a girlfriend to have an abortion when she became pregnant with his child in 2009. The woman, who has asked the Daily Beast to remain anonymous, supported these claims with a $575 receipt from the abortion clinic, a get well card from Walker, allegedly, and allegedly a bank deposit receipt that included an image of a signed $700 personal check from Walker.
Now, Walker has totally denied these claims. He says he plans to sue the outlet, calling the piece a, quote, flat-out lie and a, quote, repugnant hatchet job by a Democratic activist disguised as a reporter. Meanwhile, Walker's 18-year-old son, Christian Walker, subsequently spoke out on Twitter, writing, "I know my mom and I would really appreciate if my father, Herschel Walker, stopped lying and making a mockery of us. You're not a family man when you left us to bang a bunch of women, threatened to kill us, and had us move over 6 times in 6 months running from your violence." Walker then responded to his son, tweeting, "I love my son no matter what."
As of now, the Real Clear Politics average has the Georgia Senate race in a dead heat, with Walker at 46.3% and Democratic incumbent Reverend Raphael Warnock at 47%. So, look, this is, and Christian Walker has been continuing to weigh in on this with several other tweets and messages and videos, et cetera. This is a very difficult and uncomfortable time, obviously, for his family. I don't, relish talking about personal family drama stuff whatsoever. And to be clear, Herschel Walker has denied this. But look, this is a pretty serious allegation in terms of where Herschel Walker's political positions are now. I've seen some conservatives saying, like, well, is it, this was 10 years ago. The point is, has he changed his views since then? He's pro-life now. He wasn't then. I don't know if that's persuasive at all to people who care about the abortion issue and are going to be voting for this. And I just have to say, what are Republican primary voters doing? Why, this is another Senate race that could have easily been won. Maybe it will still be, but it is this is Republican control of Congress is coming down to a few races where Republican primary voters, and I have to say, Donald Trump picked candidates that were deeply flawed and far more likely to lose than the options they had. And at some point, look, people, you get the candidates you voted for, and you voted for this, and now would not surprise me at all if this is going to be a Democratic victory in what ought to have been a Republican victory. So, we're a political news show, so I'm looking at the political aspect of it. Obviously, the hypocrisy and the salaciousness, are things other people are going to cover. That's fine, whatever. But looking at the politics, it's just Republican primary voters have to get better standards. They just have to.
Yeah, if it was just the abortion allegedly that he paid for, people do that kind of to me, that's very low-grade hypocrisy. We all do stuff in our personal life that we're not proud of.
Right.
To me, the much more disturbing allegation is his son alleging that there was violence.
Yeah.
I really feel that is the kind of thing that I would like to see Republican voters say, you know what, we're willing to lose this one. If that bears out, we want to know more about this.
Right, and Christian Walker said, in one of his statements that, look, this is not that people who make amends for past bad behavior is one thing, and is suggesting that that's not the situation at all, that, he has not made it right for the family and et cetera, suggested that some of this stuff was possibly more ongoing, more recent than 15 years ago. So, not a case of failure that was then overcome. And so, obviously take that for what it's worth. This is, family drama stuff can be very vicious and very bad, and there can be, things can be gotten wrong and misconstrued, or there can be ill intent on multiple sides. But the reality is that he is not a good candidate given all of this, right? Not just an alleged abortion, but alleged violence is what Christian, his son, is suggesting. A son who, by the way, has not been trying to torpedo
supported him.
His campaign whatsoever. He did appear in a campaign event. Christian Walker is a conservative, manifests conservative views, does a lot of videos on, being over identity politics and how the left is, because he's a gay black conservative man, how the left doesn't understand him, that kind of thing. So it does not seem like he's not trying to destroy his dad's political career because he doesn't like his politics or something like that, but rather suggesting that there is issues there in terms of how he was treated and how the family's been treated. Again, it's very tough. I feel for people whose interpersonal, whose family drama is thrust into the national spotlight like this. But look, if you're going to run this, realistically, that's going to happen if you run for Congress, if you run for Senate. So if you have if you have this much baggage, this many family issues that have not been sorted out, that you should not seek higher office. I mean, that's different than, we're going to get to a place, cancel culture is so crazy, we're going to get to a place like, someone who called someone stupid when they were like 13 is going to be disqualified from running at the rate we're going. That I'm totally against. This is different than that. There's more underlying allegations here. Where we would, Republican primary voters would be justified in calling for candidates who are a little bit cleaner than this, I would say.
Yeah, and I think it's the point you made about Trump picking so poorly and then the primary following his choice. In both cases, he picked, the famous person, right? Dr. Oz and Herschel Walker, the person he used to see on TV, right? Which tells you just so much about where his head is at and his political judgment at this moment, I think.
Yeah, I expect Democrats to lose both those races. There's some evidence that Pennsylvania might be getting closer, a little closer than people expect. And then I think they're going to lose. I think Republicans will lose Arizona. I think they'll still win Ohio. And then it really all comes down to like Nevada. We'll see. It's going to be another nail biter. Another 49-51, 50-50, or 51-49 are by far the most likely outcomes. So the writers of this season deliver again, as we like to joke about. This is just a scripted drama, poorly cast at that. But we'll have more rising for you right after this.